So, the post office is running out of money, and this could have a negative effect on the real estate market, as if we don't have enough things affecting the real estate market. So, according to news, back in March of 2026, the Postmaster General made an announcement that the post office is running out of money and they only have enough funds to get them through the year. Optimistically, they have enough funds to get them into early 2027. Realistically, they may not have enough funds to get them past October of 2026 if Congress doesn't step in and provide some solutions. So, going back to 2007 to today, the post office is saying that they have lost $118 billion. That's with a B. $1 billion in revenue. And that loss is having a significant effect on their ability to provide services. I think for a lot of people, this isn't going to be maybe too big of a deal. I mean, it's hard to say. But the concern is for older Americans, Americans who are 65 and older, Americans who may not be as computer savvy, who may not have or may not utilize a smartphone, and also for Americans who live in very rural areas of the country. I live in a very densely populated area of the country. There's a lot of people around, there's a lot of stores around, there are a lot of services around, and it's also easy to get around. But once you go west, out of this area, I'm on the East Coast. Once you start going west into that centralized area of the country, that's where I think we're going to see the most people affected if the post office has to shut down or if they have to reduce services. So one of the solutions is reducing the number of days that post office workers work or deliver the mail, as well as increasing the price of a stamp. Now, I know that they just did an increase, I think in 2025, maybe I think early 2025 or 2024, they did do an increase on stamps, but they are suggesting another increase on stamps to help bridge the gap that $1 billion gap that they have. I mean, a 5% increase on stamps, I don't think is going to make a huge difference, especially if we don't have more people buying stamps. So how will this affect the real estate market? So one of the executives at the post office is saying that for people who live in very rural areas, this could definitely have a significant effect on home values. And the way that can have an effect on home values is that a buyer, buyers typically are looking at multiple properties. So if I'm looking at one property in one area, property A, and another property, another area, property B, if property A is in an area where the postal services or delivery services are limited, and I have to make a choice between two properties, I will more than likely, especially if both properties are around the same price, have the same aesthetics and layout, the same bedroom and bathroom makeup, I may go with the property that has more access to services. I think when it comes to the post office, we don't realize how much we rely on post office services. Also, when it comes to real estate transactions still involve mail carriers. We do need the services for mortgage documents, home insurance documents, tax documents. I'm always telling people that the way the city, the county, the state, the tax assessor, the way that they contact you is through the mail. And quite often when it comes to real estate transactions, the information is time sensitive. So if we have a reduction in mail delivery, which can extend the time it takes for letters to be delivered, this will definitely have an effect on real estate transactions and the delivery of documents. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as it pertains to home values. If a buyer have a choice between two properties, and if more and more buyers are choosing to purchase properties in areas where it's full service type areas, we will see home values in the rural areas where they are more reliant on postal services to decline. If a seller in a rural area has a property that they need to sell, but they can't seem to get buyers to buy, the first thing they typically do is reduce the price. And once that price is reduced, the property gets sold. That property now becomes a comp that is used for other properties that will begin to hit the market and other properties that are appraised. So if you have a particular area, or even if you have multiple states, because when you think about the country, that middle section of the country is very rural. We don't see too many houses. They're not so close together. They're more spaced out. In some of those areas, people may have to drive for miles and miles and miles just to get to a post office or to get to a UPS store or a Walmart or something like that. In those areas, they are more reliant on their daily mailman or daily mail woman. And if these services get cut, these people, or people who live in these areas, are definitely going to feel the effect of it. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, to see if Congress steps in with some type of solution for the post office to keep them above water. Because as it stands right now, they may be closing their doors by the end of this year or early next year. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.